Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I have for you just a quick post-com game that I had on Showdown a little while ago. Hopefully there will have been an update video on the channel not so far back, and I will have mentioned at the end that I was just going to be doing some post-com games that I've got stacked up ready to go until I can tie myself over to getting back into Showdown sessions and the like. This is one of those post-com games. And if I want to get back into sessioning, this is the team I think I will be using. It's in RU, and what we've got here, what we're working with is basically kind of Hazard stack with Trick Room and a Banded Emboar. And I've really loved using this team so far. Been using some stuff that I had in the PPL Season 1. We've got Registeel and Meloetta you might be able to see. And yeah, everything else on the team I've really enjoyed using. And this is a battle just showcasing how this team can work and how well it can function when it does work. So, what we've got is Banded Emboar, mixed defensive Registeel, offensive AV Meloetta. That has since been switched out of the team, but we'll get onto that when we get onto that. Trick Room Cofagrigus, Fizz Def Hazard stacking Qwilfish, and contingency plan for Trick Room, Scarf Rotom-Cut. Now our opponent today, Gmoney96, is bringing the shiny offensive. He's got some prevalent physical threats in the tier. We've got Cincino and Medicham. He has potential hazards of his own in the form of Cobalion and of course the Glalie. Jellicent is bulky as all hell, and Hitmontop is there to try and get rid of those hazards on his side, and is a pretty nice wall in and of itself. My plan looking at this team, Emboar could put in work as long as Jellicent wasn't there, and as long as the Hitmontop wasn't there. So I needed to get rid of them, get my hazards up, and get Emboar in on the Trick Room and hopefully do some work. So without further ado, let's get into the battle and see how things played out. So I'm going to lead with Qwilfish as our opponent goes with Cobalion. Absolutely fine by me. I get the Intimidate in case he's physical. Go into Cofagrigus as he gets his rocks up. In comes the Hitmontop as I just go for the Willow. This is absolutely fine. Chip damage on this thing, especially to cut its attack, always great. So he goes into the Cincino as I put a switch of my own into Qwilfish, get the Intimidate. That's going to work really well for me. He's not going to want to stay in with an Intimidate Cincino. He goes into his Jellicent as I get up my first layer of spikes. Gonna follow that up with a Taunt. Don't want this thing burning me or being able to recover later on, so he's going to have to switch out again, go into his Hitmontop as I get up my second layer of spikes. So he's obviously going to want to get rid of these spikes as soon as possible. I go into Cofagrigus to block the spin. He sees that coming very well, pulls a very smart double into his Cincino, who does of course pack the knockoff. So going to get back out of there, go into my own Qwilfish, get the Intimidate, take the knockoff pretty well to be honest. So he doesn't want to stay in here, he's going to go into his Cobalion. As I go for the Poison Jab, very nice play on his part, possibly predicting that. He's going to go for the T-Wave here, as I just go for the Waterfall, just to kind of gauge how much damage I can get on this thing. The answer, not a lot. So he goes to the Iron Head to try for the Power Flinch. He does get the Power first turn there, and he's going to go for a subsequent Iron Head. I am going to break through and get up my final layer of spikes. If this Cobalion is looking to be a problem, he's back to near full health. So I go into Registeel to tank an Iron Head, which I do absolutely fine. I've seen 3 of his moves. I presume he's got stab fighting. He goes for the Sacred Sword, and I go for the counter, which is really nice, going to be able to get that off on the Cobalion, take it down to a really nice range of health. He goes for T-Wave, I predict that and go for the Rock, so now I have all my hazards up, and this is fantastic. He's going to go into Hitmontop. I knew he would have to. I went for the counter here, just in case he didn't, but now he's really pressured to spin away those hazards. What it means though is that he can't switch out with Hitmontop. He's now dead on entry, so I can safely go into Cofagrigus, knowing the spin is coming and knowing that he can no longer switch out. He goes for the Rapid Spin. It's really his only play in case I did switch out, but he goes down to burn as I get Trick Room up, and now those hazards are there to stay. So in comes the Medicham, and he's actually going to pull a double, goes into the Jellicent as I just go for a Willow. I do miss, that's a bit unfortunate, but you know, it doesn't matter too much. Here, I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball. I do get the special D drop on the Jellicent as he gets the burn onto my Cofagrigus. Cofagrigus doesn't have great recovery options, so that's good for him. I take out the Jellicent. What this means is that those 2 stops I mentioned earlier to my Emboar, they're now gone. So Emboar is looking really good, hazards are there. I go for Willow onto this Cobalion, just kind of looking to sack my Cofagrigus Eventually, what I really want to do is get Trick Room up. So he's going to go for Iron Head, looking for those flinches. I do get Trick Room up here, but now I see he's pretty much just going for the Iron Head. So I feel safe going into Notorious PIG, the Emboar. He goes for the Iron Head, and he goes down to burn. And now what we're looking at is 3 opponents, 3 turns of Trick Room. Banded, Reckless, Emboar, Flare Blitz is going to take lives. Easily going to take out the Medicham from there. In comes the Cincino, taking those hazard damage. Flare Blitz going to take that out as well, no problem at all. And now all he's got left is the Glalie, who is going to come down to half because of hazards. Flare Blitz, of course, going to clean up the Glalie from there. And that is going to be the game. So, really good game. Thank you to G-Money96. He knew he'd lost quite early on because of the hazards. But props to G-Money96 for sticking around and toughing out the battle, which was to him kind of a losing battle from the moment Hitmontop went down. But yeah, that is just going to be it from this very quick post-com. As I say, I really want to use this team in a session, and I fully intend to at some point when I have the time to record that session. So look out for that. There's probably going to be a few more little post-coms going up, some really entertaining battles that I'm really excited to post-com. They'll be here hopefully in the next couple of days. But for now, that is going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. And I guess with that, I will see you next time. Laters.